Hello and welcome to Board Game Gumbo. Today we're unboxing Paladins of the West Kingdom by Renegade Games. This is a game for 1 to 4 players, so it does have a solo mode that plays in between 90 and 120 minutes. This is the second in a trilogy of games from Renegade, first being Architects and now Paladins. So here we have our rulebook. With solo rules in the back there and a little quick reference on the back of the book itself. A few little advertisement things. We have quite a few cards, some bags of pieces. Here we have the main board, which will be set up side to side. This is a communal board that all players will use, so that it'll be put together like so on the table. And it obviously has spots for different types of cards. Here we have some punch board, and underneath the punch board, we have the player boards. So each player is going to get their own board. And it has locations for them to do varying types of actions. So we have a track here on the left. These are for your different attributes. There are 3 different attributes in the game, and you'll have little pieces to keep track of those. We have a spot for your paladin that you're going to use each turn. And then these spots up here will be taken up with different buildings that you'll have to put out during the course of the game. And then the different actions you can take. So these actions up here where you see multiple, you can do a single person here for 1 provision, or you can do a single person plus specifically a green for a total of 3. So anytime you see a color, you have to use that color meeple. We've got some other actions over here. You'll see these little dotted outlines because you can build buildings onto these spots to make these actions require less workers. You also see different colors here at the top. These are your attributes. So as I said, there's 3. There's blue, red, and black. The color on the left is what's required to take that action. And this will normally change depending on how many times you've taken the action. And then on the right is what you'll gain. So that's just a little reminder on your board for that. And then you got different spots down here and up here for cards that you'll accumulate throughout the course of the game. So here's our punch board with a little starting player token and then some resource tokens. These are just provision tokens, and this is all good cardboard. Everything's punching out really well. Coins here. If you have the Kickstarter version, there are metal versions of these coins, or you can use them from the previous game, Architects. Our wooden pieces here, you're going to have quite a few wooden pieces, and they're all going to be in a player color. So the workers themselves, the meeples, those aren't player dependent. Those will just go into a collective pool, and then you'll gain certain pieces throughout the course of the game. So all of these workers and all their different colors just go into a community pool here. We've got a couple other pieces here. These are workshops, I believe. So on your player board, you have a spot for these workshops. And I explained that earlier that these are the pieces that go out on those little dotted line areas to make your actions cheaper. So by building workshops, you'll make actions take less people. Some more meeples here. These are garrisons, another building that you can construct throughout the course of the game. So again, you'll have a spot for these on your player board, and you'll build them and then place them out for different one-time benefits. These actually go onto the communal board, if you can see these spots up here. These are to track your 3 attributes. So red, blue, and black. Each player will get a set of these. And then you have these, which are, I believe, require piety, and you can see that they're numbered because they require a certain amount to essentially activate them or use them. Then we have our cards here. So there are several types of cards. The most important are probably the Paladin cards. Let me see if I can find those real quick. I believe it's this back, but I could be wrong. So let's see. Okay, so here are our Paladin cards. Each player is going to have the same deck of cards. So it looks like this is one deck, possibly, maybe two. What you're going to do at the start of each turn is you're going to draw 3 Paladin cards from your deck, which will be shuffled. And then you're going to decide which one to use on your turn. So there's a couple different things here. One is the meeples that they grant. They all grant 2 meeples, but obviously in different colors. They also boost particular stats. So Oliver here gives you 4 in this stat, which I believe is piety, but I could be wrong. And then they also have abilities at the bottom. So again, if you pick Oliver, you're going to get 2 black meeples, which are the monks. This probably is piety then, if he's the monk paladin. And also praying costs no silver. That's one of the actions you can take on your turn. So if I decide to keep this guy, I want to use him on my turn. I'm going to take him. I'm going to put him face down here until everybody has done that. And I have 2 cards left over. One of these I'm going to put on top of my deck. So let's say I want to see this guy next round. So I'm going to put him on top of my deck. The other one is going to go on the bottom. So I'm not going to see him for a while. Then once everybody's picked, everybody's going to get the workers and adjust their stats for their paladin. And then they're also going to get a tavern card. Let's see if we can find those real quick. Tavern cards are just cards you'll draft at the start of each round. And they're going to just give you more meeples to work with for the turn. So here it looks like some more paladin cards here. And then these are essentially people you can hire throughout the course of the game. And they give you special abilities here. And sometimes they have immediate effects. So if you would gain him, you immediately get a silver coin. We've got a deck of smaller cards here. So we've got debt cards here in the back. Debt is bad. Debt is negative points. But throughout the course of the game, you may have to take debt cards. They do have a destroyed side. So if you end the game with an active debt, it's worth -3 points. But if you are able to get rid of the debt, then you don't have to worry about those minus points. So some of the cards you'll have at the start of the game, they'll flip over, and these are additional scoring cards. So this one will want you to complete 5 of those jars by the end of the game, and then you'll get extra points for that. And then you'll have a total of 3 of these throughout the course of the game. And then as you get into later rounds, you'll have these green cards, which give you different actions. So if you put a green meeple here, you can pay 3 money to gain one of those worker cards, and or remove one of the worker cards from the lineup. And these are just extra actions that essentially get added to the game as it progresses. You're going to play a total of 7 rounds, and then the person at the end with the most points is going to be the winner. I believe these are for the solo game. You have some suspicion cards, which you'll potentially gain throughout the course of the game. Here are the tavern cards. So the tavern cards, again, there's going to be a set of these out, and you're going to essentially draft them, and they'll give you 4 meeples. It's always, I believe, 4 meeples. So between that and your paladin, you have a total of 6 meeples to work with. And then in player order, you'll just take turns until everybody has passed, and then you'll go on to the next round. Last thing to show you are these outsider cards. So these will be out. There'll be a few of these out, and you can do actually a couple different things with these cards. You can attack them to gain them, or you can also convert them to your cause and gain them that way. And these are, again, additional scoring. Anytime you see a yellow flag, that's scoring. So gaining these can be really helpful to you, especially if they are giving you something that you've already specialized in. And that's it. That's everything you're going to get in a copy of Paladins of the West Kingdom from Renegade Games.